We offer free care assessments, so it's at no cost to them. They're not obligated to sign anything. It's just me talking to them and see what their needs are. And if we can help them, we'd love to. But if I feel like there is another option that would, better fit their needs, then I refer them out.
Right.
Because I don't just, okay, you can remain living at your home, but if it's not safe, especially if they can't afford like a 24-hour care, then I would need to refer them out to a facility or whatever.
Hey there, welcome to the Living Well, Aging Smart podcast. A podcast for seniors who are looking to live their best life ever. Looking to live their life with purpose, with passion, and most of all, with a little bit of humor. Here's the thing. I'm Mitchell Schwartz, broker salesman 19845 with Keller Williams Marketplace. I'm a senior real estate specialist as well as a certified senior advisor. And my goal here is to help you live your best life. I'm very passionate about the senior well-being, from housing to health to scams to, more importantly, safety and staying connected with one another. You see, every week we're going to explore topics, things that matter most to seniors just like you and I. Aging in place, maybe actual transitions and navigating that process, protecting your legacy, and yes, occasionally we'll talk about real estate, right? Because I want you to be prepared for when the time is right. And here's the thing, it's not about sales. For me, this is all about stories, insights, and solutions that you could use by bringing the very professionals who can answer the questions for you. Make sure you get the best information and make the best decisions for you. Now, they care about the community just like I do. So before we go to any longer, why don't we just dive right in? Okay. Rena and Rochelle,
yes.
Thank you so much for being here today. And as we get started, certainly we're going to talk about your company and what you guys do to serve seniors, because we're all three of us are in agreement that seniors are kind of like the generation that people put aside, right? They're not thought of highly many times. People discard their opinions, and worse yet, they get taken advantage of. And we don't want that, right? We do this because we really care.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into all that, I'd like, if you would, let's just start with one of you. I don't care who. Just give us sort of like the CNN version of how you came to Vegas and what you did maybe before, the caregiving and helping people. And then we can talk about what caused you, what drove you to get into this business, and then we'll talk deeper about what you actually do. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, okay, I'll go first. So my name is Rena. Again, I'm the care coordinator and director of operations for in-home personnel services.
Right.
That is a long title, but that just means I juggle, everything, care plans.
Lots of stuff.
She's the face of home here in Vegas.
Clients, caregivers, schedules, and all that. What got me started into caregiving, I don't want to say that it just volume.
Pull the microphone
Oh,
up just a little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
It's all good. Get you a little bit closer.
So what got me started into caregiving? First of all, when you're a Filipino and you're new to a country, caregiving is like at the top of the jobs that are readily available to you. Because I don't know what it is, but our culture, we are just naturally inclined like empaths and carers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of Filipinos you will see in the hospitals or in the medical industry, healthcare industry, there will be a lot of Filipinos.
Oh yeah.
But I started early as a caregiver. I started when I was 17 years old. So I have over 16 years of experience, and I know how it is to be on the front lines. What was the other?
What did you do before you got into this?
Yeah. So, like, again, I've been a caregiver for 16 years, so I've been doing
nothing
this.
before. You were
No.
doing chores at home.
Yeah. I did some office jobs here and there for different, industries, but ultimately I just kept wanting to come back to caregiving because that's where my heart is.
What brought you to Vegas?
Yes. So that was in 2009. We moved here from the Philippines. I grew up.
2009. Did you
Yeah.
speak any English or just Tagalog when you got here?
No, I actually spoke Waray. It's a dialect that
Oh,
we had
even
here.
that's
So
a
I
harder
actually,
dialect.
I actually, yeah, learned Tagalog and English when we moved here.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So-
because pretty much every Filipino here in town speaks Tagalog.
Yeah. So my first 5 years was a blur, honestly.
I can only imagine.
Everybody, sounded like blah 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 blah, and I wouldn't understand it.
Yeah, it's funny because my son is married to a Filipina and Hispanic girl, and her father, of course, is teaching me all the horrible things to say
Of course.
Yeah.
in Tagalog. So it's good.
Yeah. So I moved here with my mom and my younger sister, and then 5 years later, we brought our 2 younger sisters here, and we've been here ever since. I haven't
Fantastic.
gone back to the Philippines.
You've not even gone back, you said?
No, I have not. Well, actually, we did went back to the Philippines that same year because unfortunately, suddenly my dad passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I think it was homesickness. All of a sudden, his family was not with him anymore, and that just
Yeah, it happens.
yeah.
It happens. Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you. And Rochelle?
Well, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I was not influenced by my mom. My mom was like, hey, nursing has always been, how do you say it, like security,
Mhm.
right? So I did nursing. I've been a nurse for 14 years. I started bedside skilled nursing, and then I went to assisted living, and then I did assisted living for 11 years, and then did memory care.
So you, like Rita, just started practically out of high school taking
Out of high
care
school.
of people.
Yeah, well, I was a receptionist. I remember I was working 4 hours as a receptionist, and I was studying there. And I did psych rehab.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. So one day you have just, one of my residents just booking it, like trying to escape, right? And it's like, okay, let me put my books down. But yeah, when I was 17, I did receptionist at skilled nursing, graduated, and then been a nurse for 14 years. But I mean, I don't live in Vegas. I live in Illinois, but my sister actually is the one that got me into the healthcare, home care here. And she said, there's just everybody's retiring in Vegas, right? Everybody from California is coming to Vegas. The seniors, community is just so high here. Yes, there's a lot of competition when it comes to home care, but let's not think about that.
Well, I personally think that competition raises the bar, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, all that means is that everybody who's in that space needs to constantly be looking to set the standard, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you don't live here.
I don't. But I'm here every month. I might as well just.
Might as well.
I
be.
love
we
Vegas.
can change that for you.
I love the heat.
I've been asking them to move here.
Yeah.
It's a great place to live. I've lived here for 42 years, and it's just amazing.
I
So
love the food. I can't. Every time I'm here, I'm gaining 10, 15 pounds.
that
I
was
just
amazing.
love
I
the
had to
food.
recently hire a personal trainer to get through this.
Ooh.
traffic.
Okay.
And Andre's kicking my butt, and he's going to be on here, and I think next week. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's pretty awesome. But either way, so tell me, you both talked about coming from a caring or a caregiver perspective, right? It's how I get that. And what's really interesting is like some of the Filipino nurses I run into are really Filipino doctors who were unable to pass the medical exams here to become a physician
Mhm.
or just chose not to.
Mhm.
And they're really doctors.
Yeah.
Frankly, I wish they would just become like the physician's assistant.
Yeah.
Just take it to that level, even if they don't become because they know the stuff.
Yeah.
And because they come from a different culture, the mindset around healing is different in the Philippines than
Oh,
it is here. Now, did you grow up in Illinois or
No, I came here when I was 6 years old.
from the Philippines as well?
Yeah, spoke no English.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get that far into because Philippines actually they teach you in school English. So a lot of people. In
Yeah, but you got to get
Philippines
through high school in order.
Exactly.
Well, that's where I asked Daniela, my partner in crime on this stuff. You swear she was your next door neighbor. I mean, her language skills are incredible. Like I said, she's awesome.
Nice.
I'm very, very blessed. So let's talk about what you guys do. Because I think, again, it's a kind of a crowded field. It's kind of like my thing, right? There's people out there always saying, oh, yeah, I do this and I do that. But then we as professionals look at some of these folks and go, but do you really?
Yeah.
And so talk to us a little bit about what your business provides for And I say seniors, but if somebody needed your services and they were younger, you would help them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like my certified aging in place thing. I'm authorized or certified by the National Home Builders Association. But here's the thing. I can go in and do an evaluation when somebody's young. Maybe they had a car accident or something and they need to age in place at home. That's fine.
You wouldn't turn your head.
No, on that instance, I mean, I wouldn't probably sell them a house or doing that kind of stuff because that is not my thing.
Yeah.
I prefer to work with seniors on that aspect. But if somebody needs my help in their home because they want to age in place, I'll be happy to walk them through all what they could do. But tell us a little bit more about what you guys do.
Yeah, so in-home personal services of Las Vegas, we offer non-medical support to anybody over 18 that is disabled. Most of our clients are seniors, but if they want to remain living at home, we make that possible for them so they can do that safely and comfortably. Yeah, we have no long-term contracts. We have no hourly minimum. So I think that's what sets us apart from what is it, like 90% of the home care
Yeah.
companies here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they want a minimum.
Oh, sure they do.
And some
Yeah.
of these seniors too, they don't want that. They're like, well, I just really need somebody to help my mom or my wife.
Or it's short term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't need
They're
that.
gonna, the family's going to be out of vacation and and mom doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
They need somebody to take care of it. Now, you said non-medical.
Yes, we're not.
And yet both of you kind of come from a
Medical,
medical background.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what the differences are between like a non-medical person who comes in to help any person who's medical. Because, I mean, I could throw out acronyms like ADL, but
Mhm.
we'd all know what that is.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
palliative care. We'd understand what that
Yeah.
is, but people don't understand it. So who wants to tell what the differences would be between all of that?
So non-medical means, yes, we do assist with activities of daily living. The only thing that we wouldn't do, because sometimes they come home with a catheter, right? We can, for example, we can empty the catheter, but if for somehow the client wakes up and the catheter is out of place, that's just something that we wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
do. Wounds, right? That's a clean technique, I guess you can say it. So we wouldn't be able to, we can enforce it if a wound, a dressing comes out,
You
but
could
we wouldn't be
advocate
able
and
to
stuff, yeah.
put the medication in it, because now then we become liable if that gets infected,
Right.
and then
Yeah, it's one thing to fix another piece of tape or another thing to empty out a colostomy bag or something. That's
Exactly.
different, right?
Yeah.
And essentially some of those things would be like CNA kind of activities
Right.
Yep.
that don't really require a whole lot of medical training and somebody do that. And so explain to them again what the ADL is.
activities of daily living,
Okay.
things that they need a little support in, right? They need some reminding to make sure that they take their medication. They need assistance with light housekeeping, showering, incontinence care, right? Making
Right.
sure that
They're changing their
exercise.
pads or
Yes, exactly.
Meal
keeping themselves
preparation as
clean.
Yeah, I mean, those are the things sometimes they kind of forget to do,
Sure.
right? I mean, you need to eat, and sometimes you don't realize, oh my gosh, it's already noon and I haven't had my breakfast. So those are just the things that we kind of just remind them to make sure that, hey, before you take your medication, you got to make sure you eat,
Right.
I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
So those are the things we support. That. What else can you?
So you help people get dressed, you help them bathe if necessary, you help them keep themselves somewhat organized
Mhm.
by making sure they take their pills, help them eat.
Get their exercise transfer. Sometimes when you get out of rehab, you're still a little weak,
Right.
right? So we have that assistance to where the caregiver can assist them into getting up and transferring to a wheelchair or getting from a wheelchair to bed, because that's a fall risk,
Oh,
and
yeah.
sometimes they're scared. Once you get that fall from that senior, it takes them a while to get back into feeling confident again.
Right.
So basically, whatever it takes for their dignity to be, retained.
Mhm.
We
Okay, I
keep
like how
them
you
safe.
said that.
Yes.
Whatever it takes to restore their dignity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whatever it takes for them to remain living where they prefer to be, which is
So you help them age in place as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So are you generally hired by the family or by the client themselves?
Both. Sometimes the clients, sometimes the families are their caretaker, and they get burned out,
Oh,
right?
sure.
it takes a lot, and they have their own lives too. We have some families that still work full time. They do feel guilty getting somebody in there to help, but they know that they need that support. So they hire us, and they're like, you know what, I need to go back to work. I can do this amount, but I also need help for the rest of the other days that I can't do it. So that's kind of when they hire us, or the clients. They know that they need a little support and a little help. So then they hire us, you know, whenever they feel as if they need that. You know, it could be a couple days a week, a couple hours a week, just to know that somebody's there to help them.
What is your process like when you get somebody say, I'd like to entertain the idea of hiring you guys? What is your process of evaluation so somebody knows what to expect?
Yeah. So normally we get that call, and I always suggest, let me come and meet you so I could do the assessment. We offer free care assessments, so it's at no cost to them. They're not obligated to sign anything. It's just me talking to them and see what their needs are. And if we can help them, we'd love to. But if I feel like there is another option that would, better fit their needs, then I refer them out.
Mhm.
Right.
Because I don't just, okay, you can remain living at your home, but if it's not safe, especially if they can't afford like a 24-hour care, then I would need to refer them out to a facility or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, it could possibly even be to the extent of skilled nursing at that
Right.
point, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm going to say this too, and I know this could be somewhat controversial, but I think that dementia being a very broad scope
Mhm.
of all kinds of things, right? The one that we hear about the most, of course, is Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
But that's just the one that's been in the news a lot. But how do you, when you're having a conversation with somebody, are you specially trained to kind of root through some of that stuff, or you just kind of pick up on certain signals and you go, maybe I need to refer this to somebody else?
It's hard to do when you're first assessing, because when I did my assessment, when I talked to the family on the phone, oh, she's great, she's well behaved. No, there's no elopement risk, no behavior, nothing, right? So that's why it's good for us to do the assessment, because oftentimes the families, I guess you could say, like, pre-medicate, right, before an assessment to make it look like, because then they know it's going to be a denial.
Yeah, well, because they don't want to spend, $8,000 a month in a memory
Right,
care.
right, and
They'd
so
rather
now-
have you come by.
Right, you're coming in and mom is complete angel, right? Complete, and then we're like, okay, we're gonna start services. The caregiver goes in. Oh yeah, she's ready to book it out the door, or she's like throwing stuff at me. She wants me to get out.
Wow.
So, and in that case, it's like, in the family, sometimes the families are on board and they know it, so they'll get the doctors, the neurologists to give something for that. But I mean, there's only so much the caregiver can do.
Sure.
Right.
Well, you're not medical, first
No.
off. You're just helping somebody put pants on. You're helping them get themselves clean. And you're
Yeah.
fixing them a meal.
And you can
maybe a
only
little bit of
redirect.
companionship,
Yeah.
watching a couple of minutes of TV with
But what
them.
if they don't want that, right? You
Right.
can only redirect and, I guess, what's the word for it? Bribe.
Yeah.
So many times.
Well, it's the rewarding factor that we do with our kids.
Yeah.
Right? It's the carrot of behavior. You get this, don't, and you lose that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, I think, as people get older, they revert back to some of those old behaviors because that's how they were raised.
And unfortunately, with Alzheimer's and dementia, they can't help it. They
Right.
can't help that switch just changes.
Well, that, and they unfortunately would not remember that behavior from one day to the
Exactly.
next, depending upon how
Yeah.
severe the dementia is.
Yes, exactly.
And that's another reason why that you guys at least have the hackles go up and the red flag saying, you know what, we could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, our caregivers are the ones that really suffer too.
Sure.
You know.
Well, they're at risk
Yeah.
because as people get older and more demented, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get angry.
Mhm.
And when they get
Combative.
angry, it's a problem. I mean, we've seen it just in the public eye with, and people used to argue, and this is not a political statement, this is more of a statement about Joe Biden. The last 2 years of his presidency, you could see him visibly get angry when things were happening.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, I said, that's a sign of dementia.
Yeah.
She
Yes.
said, really? I said, yeah, that's a sign. Because what's happened is he's very frustrated with himself and he lashes out.
Yes.
So it's
So right.
it doesn't diminish who he was or was not as a man. And like I said, it's not a political thing. It's just an observation thing that when you're in our world, you start to see those things more readily than you don't.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, I think also families decide to bury their heads in the sand because who wants to admit that their mom has
Yeah.
Alzheimer's or dementia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
one of the episodes I'll be doing is going to be what I call caregivers tell all. I hope to have it set up more like a town hall with, 4 or 5 people who are caregivers, both as professionals and caregivers as family
Mhm.
for people with dementia.
That's amazing. That'd be.
I think that would be really helpful because I honestly believe that people, when they volunteer to be the caregiver, most of them don't know what they're getting into.
Mhm.
And secondly, unless they purposely learn, they're not educated enough to know how to handle it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's interesting. So what do you see that's out there that if, let's say, take for instance, somebody was an adult child of a senior watching this, what would you say to them about why they should have somebody come in and help mom or dad while they're at work rather than just leave them to their own devices?
I think, well, I believe that that's very important because you want to keep that parent and child relationship instead of being their primary caregiver, because then the dynamic changes. And this is sad to say, but this is, the last years of their lives, right? And we want to send them out on good terms instead of, with all the fighting, you being burned out as a caregiver.
Mhm.
So if you need help, seek that help so your parent can, leave the world on good terms. Don't burn yourself out. There
Yeah.
are resources available to you out there, and you're not the only one. Like, this is so common. This is
Yeah.
so common.
So common.
And safety.
So common.
Yes.
And safety too. You don't want to get that call from 911 saying
God forbid.
Yeah.
mom went downstairs to the basement to do laundry because she had an accident. And then what?
Right.
That's
All the red flags that come up with that statement alone
100%.
says everything for me. First off, mom should not be living upstairs.
Yeah.
Secondly, she should not be doing laundry. Thirdly, what else is in the path
Yep.
of that process that is a hazard? I mean, simply by not knowing exactly where the light switches are is a big deal for some. And if you're not traversing that on a consistent basis, and if there's lots of clutter, if there's rugs on the floor, if there's too many tchotchkes, if there's no grab bars, if the toilet seats are low versus high, all of those, I mean, just all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's just a path from here to here. There's 35 dangers that could put that
Yeah,
person on the
exactly.
floor.
It's funny you say that, Mitch, because chances are if they haven't gotten a caregiver already in place, they probably don't have the safety measures in place at home.
Right. Now, you guys also certified as aging in place specialists, like from the National Home Builders Association?
No, we're not, but I would like to look at
But
that.
I would like to encourage you to do that.
Okay.
Because I already do that.
Do you know April Grimaldi here in town? She has been part of
Oh,
SING.
that
I
sounds
interviewed her
familiar.
last week. She is an occupational therapist,
Mhm.
and she is also a certified aging in place specialist like me. There's like 4 or 5 of us here in town.
Okay.
And she's also the instructor for the class for National Home Builders Association.
Okay.
It's an intense 3 days. I would happy to get you connected with April because I think it would, first off, I think it'll set you separate from everybody else that you can say, listen, we just go over there and ask questions. We go over there and investigate.
Mhm.
We really know. And I think it'd be worth your while just for the knowledge.
Yes, absolutely.
Changed everything for me because now I have different conversations with my clients. I'll go to somebody's house and they say they want to sell. And I'm like, well, if you could live here, would you? Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
what's keeping you? And then we start asking questions. I can't tell you how many times I talked myself out of business because I'm more about helping them
Mhm.
live longer and better in their house than I am about doing the business.
Yeah.
Business comes.
Mhm.
But just like you guys, when you look at it from a standpoint of how can we truly give this person the next maybe 15 to 20 years of the best life possible. And you guys might be getting called in when it's a shorter time from that.
Mhm.
Me, I get called in, people, are 60 and the average age is, in this country is, for women is like, 86, 87. Well, that's 27 years that they're going to have.
Mhm.
Let's figure out a way to give them the best 27 years
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how she is too. And myself, when we do an assessment, it's not just, okay, here's to sign the paper. When do you want to start? It's not that
Yeah.
she's offering services too and resources because some of these family members and these clients have no idea
No
that there are resources out there.
Or they're just so busy doing their day to day, they
Yeah.
just don't have the time or even know the right questions to ask to get the result that they want. I mean, Google is wonderful, but it's not all that in a bag of chips because you can put anything on there that you want
Oh,
and
yeah.
purport yourself to be an expert when you're
Mhm.
not. And there's
Mhm.
plenty of that. We see
Yeah.
that out there.
Yeah.
So thinking in terms of like if I were talking to some clients, what are some of the things that I would be listening for that would cause me to say, you know what, you really do need to speak to Rochelle and Rachel?
Oh, this is a good question. We had this yesterday too.
Well, if they are a burnt out family member, just like I mentioned, they definitely need to
So
call.
they're the primary caregiver and they're
Yes.
kind of stressing out about it or like burned out about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or also if they are the client themselves, if you've been forgetting how, to do certain things, or you're forgetting what you even did yesterday, or if you're not able to go out to get the mail anymore, then that's definitely, a good time to call us.
Mhm.
Or if you're not able to prepare your own meals anymore,
Mhm.
Right.
because nutrition and
Oh yeah. What kills me is I have to remind my mom to drink water.
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have dementia, but she's going to be 85 in
It's,
2
yeah.
weeks.
I can't drink.
It's not just in
This is gonna
seniors,
take
like,
me
that's-
forever to drink this.
Yeah, well, we figured
It's
out a
for
way
all
to
of us.
flavor it up a bit so she'll drink it more.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I've learned that it's not a matter of saying you need to drink water because you need to drink water. It's about sometimes I just hand her a bottle of water and I say,
Yeah.
here. And because it's just in her hand, she'll just automatically start doing it.
Mhm.
That's true.
Right. And so that's interesting. So be listening for the burnt out people, be listening for people. So when I asked the question about staying in place, some of the, well, I'm probably not good at cooking for myself, or I left my stove on, or stuff like that's probably things I should be
Absolutely,
listening for, right?
yes, yeah.
Or if you hear like a family member, mom doesn't want to go to a home. She doesn't want to go to an assisted living or an independent. She wants to stay in her own home.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, and I
that's where we come
love
in.
that for people. I really do. But I mean, let's just be honest. I go out to people's houses and that's my first instinct is to help them stay. I mean, I make no money from that, right? Let's just be clear. I don't make money for buying and selling houses. That's what I do. But again, my mission is to not only be that person.
Right.
But I'll go to somebody's house and we'll be talking and I'll hear them say that they want to live in place. But then when I'm really further talking to them or their kids, I'm like, we realize that this is not the safest place.
Mhm.
What do you do in that instance? Somebody says, yeah, I really want to live here. And then, because you probably do an assessment in person,
Mhm.
you probably watch them do things so you understand their mobilities. You understand based on their mindset, some of their limitations, but some of the mindset limitations are actually limiting beliefs about what they're capable of, not capable of. So they think they can live at home when really, even unless they had 24-hour care,
Right.
probably not best. So what do you do then?
Yeah, so that's why I insist on the home care assessment,
Mhm.
because then I could evaluate if it is safe for them to stay home, and if they're not, then I would have to contact their next of kin,
Mhm.
or I offer to take them to assisted living tours.
Yeah.
And I do that like at no cost.
Yeah.
I've done that to some of our clients. Like you live on the second story,
Yeah.
and there's 12 steps there that you need to come down. You're not able to.
Yeah.
How
You
about
can't.
I take you to,
Yeah, let's get you someplace that it's at least
Right.
all one level, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we toured a lot of assisted living, independent, and
Yeah.
skilled nursing facilities.
By
Do you
the
guys know
way-
Jonathan Sussman?
Oh.
Senior Resource Nevada?
Oh,
They
okay.
are a
Yeah.
non-profit
Yeah.
placement agency that would probably make your lives easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
I'll
stumbled
introduce you
into
to
them. Yeah.
JD.
Perfect.
Jade is a great guy, got a great charity, and I'm affiliated with him at a high level. And anytime somebody says I'm considering it, I refer them to him
Mhm.
because he knows all the places, all the people. I don't get me wrong. I mean, I work very closely with a lot of them because I get business, I send business. But it's really about, again, the senior. And Jonathan, JD, he knows everything. He
Yeah.
knows it all. And so I'll get you connected with him because I think it'd be a good thing for that.
Yeah.
Good thing.
And that's one good thing about Las Vegas, actually. We have many amazing assisted living facilities here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really, we have some, I would say, Rolls Royce type top.
Mhm.
And then we have some, I'm sorry, bargain basement, really used beater car.
When I do these tours, I'm like looking at her. I'm like, I would live here. How
Yeah,
old do I have to be? I mean, you got the
55.
gym,
Like, wasn't
you
it
got the
like-
heated pool,
55.
you got the bus to take
You're
you
not
wherever
old
you
enough.
want to go.
You need not old enough. You need to move to Las Vegas, aspire to that.
Do you know how much a studio apartment is in Illinois? Like a little 500, 600 feet? No, it's
You don't
not
live
even
in one
compared
of
to
those. You
that.
don't live in one of those.
No, but it's cheaper to live here, and I got the gym, I got the pool, I got the bus, I got everything.
Yeah, we also have one of these, so apparently we need to talk to him about that too, right? Yeah, no, it's so fun. But I walk into some of the places, and if I walk into a place and I smell urine within 5 feet of the door,
Yeah.
Mhm.
no thanks.
That means hygiene is out the door.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, that's when bacteria starts showing
Oh,
up.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's when people start getting sepsis. That's
Yes.
when they start getting all
Yeah.
kinds of terrible, nasty things.
Mhm.
And that's what will kill them.
Yeah.
That, and if they're sick, they're going to be isolated, and that further kills them. You know, they say, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was over an 80% number that said that seniors are isolated,
Mhm.
and that leads to depression,
Mhm.
which leads to bad health, which leads to bad nutrition, which leads all that. It's literally just. That's why, like, every day that my mom says that she wants to go visit her friends at her where she used to live, independent living, I take her.
Yeah.
And I actually put the lift app on her phone and taught her how to use it. I said, Mom, if I can't take you, you can take your kid self.
Mhm.
Because she's going someplace where there's going to be people watching her and keeping an eyeball on her. It's not assisted living, but there's lots of people. She hangs out with them. And then when I come to pick her up, it's a good thing to not be isolated.
Yeah.
Really good.
100%.
Yeah. There's many amazing places here in Vegas, but also like you mentioned, it's not for everyone. I've seen seniors who moved into assisted living facility, and actually that made them decline because it was an unfamiliar environment.
Well, and it wasn't the people there were not set up or equipped to overcome the objection of, I just want to stay here and watch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course.
So, like, one place where my mom was in an assisted living because she fractured her pelvis and she needed time to recuperate and stuff, and she was there. And they said you may eat only one meal per week in your room, even in the assisted living. All the
I
other
remember
meals
that one.
must be out here. And if you don't come down, we're going to come check on you, and we're going to penalize you. So if you try to do
Wow.
it, we'll let you do it, but we're going to charge you for your food.
Yes, to be delivered to their room.
That's
Yeah, I
it. And
remember
I thought
that.
that was great because what they're doing is they're
Right.
creating a disincentive to sit around in their rooms all day.
Mhm.
I mean, it's one thing to offer crafts and games and field trips and all kind of stuff, but if that's only the offer of something and there's no fear of what you're going to lose if you don't, again, kids, they're the carrot and the whip. You got to have both.
When I worked in assisted living, us nurses and staff would get so frustrated when there was nothing happening for the seniors. They enjoy bingo. That's easy to do. Going outside on a bus ride, and when there's no activities, you just see all the falls happening. We're getting back-to-back falls. The nurses are getting called. She's on the floor. Well, yeah, because she's been sitting there.
Yep. And
Since
now she's
breakfast.
atrophying like
Yeah.
crazy. And yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. So what else should people know about how you help? So if they're considering, gosh, who do I call? Well, first off, I don't even think we've named the company. I don't even think we mentioned the name of your company.
I
In-home
mentioned it.
personal services.
In-Home Personal Services.
Mhm.
And we'll make sure, if it's okay with you guys, we'll publish the information.
Absolutely.
My goal is to have a little like a subpage on my website and that sort of thing. And we'll make sure that in whatever medium we can, we'll make sure we put a clickable link out to get information to you guys. Because I think, if anything, the best thing they could do is just call and ask questions, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And the one thing I want to bring up is our caregivers are trained and certified. So if they have no experience, we put them through our Matthews Healthcare school, and they go through 3 days of training for introduction to caregiving and introduction to caregiving for Alzheimer's and dementia. And then the third day, they do the whole hands-on how to do a proper transfer, using a Hoyer lift, a sliding board, incontinence care, all of that. And
That's
they
fantastic.
do this annually.
Oh, wow. So you're
Yeah.
constantly renewing it for them.
Exactly. And aside from that, if they are not comfortable with something, you better believe she's getting either a caregiver who's trained for that, to do a training for that caregiver before going in to actually be scheduled for a client. She goes in and retrains them as well. It's not as like, okay, Alex, I need you to go to this client. This is what they need, and that's it.
So you actually give them the more personal how to with this
Yep.
person, what
The
they
hands-on.
need, what they're expecting.
Mhm.
So the person, the handoff is not just a paper saying go here.
No.
Yes.
It's a legit conversation
Mhm.
with the client and the new caregiver
Right.
kind of a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
that
meet and
sounds
greet is like what we like to
Oh,
say
that's
it.
fun.
Because
That's
we've
fun.
had clients saying like, oh my gosh, they sent somebody in here and they weren't comfortable. You know, they didn't look like they knew what they were doing. And
Sure.
who wants somebody in their
No.
house to help me transfer from bed to a wheelchair? Are you going to be able to handle
Yeah.
me?
Or if you're some creepy dude and
Yeah.
you're trying to help a woman take care of herself, I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Mhm.
No, I get that. So if somebody were to call you, what questions should they ask you to make sure they have an awareness of, one, you guys, but more importantly, what makes you different than everybody else? What should they be asking? I mean, I heard the certification stuff,
Yeah.
but what else should they ask you as a prospective client?
Yeah, so they should ask, and I encourage everyone to call at least 3 home care companies just so they have, their options written out for them and laid out for them. But I would ask if there's what's the minimum hours they can have us?
Mhm.
What are the qualifications of your caregivers? Do they run background checks on the caregivers? How frequently are they trained? And would you guys offer a meet and greet? Because if it was me, like I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, like I wouldn't
Right.
want a company to just send a random, person to my house without knowing them first and then them like working on me, like helping me dress and, bathe already.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a meet and greet protocol first.
Yeah. Well, you need to know whether or not your family member feels comfortable and confident.
Yeah.
And I love the background check thing because, I mean, we've all read the stories and heard the stories about how somebody comes in and becomes the friend. The next thing you know, the friend has a boyfriend who's in jail and they need $10,000 to bail him out. And then it's, oh, my car broke down. It's going to cost me another $20,000.
A
then
personalized check has been written,
Yeah.
to pay for it.
Oh, my God, it just kills me to hear these stories.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what haven't I asked you that you think I should have asked you about your business or yourselves or what you bring to the table?
Well, going back to, questions for clients to ask
Mhm.
companies if they have long-term contracts, if they would be locked into a contract, right? Because seniors and just anybody, like any individuals, our needs can change and it constantly is changing.
yeah.
So we want to make sure that, their contract is flexible. That's why it was important for us to make our contracts flexible.
Yeah.
If they need to adjust, if they need to cancel services, they can do so within, 24 hours.
And our goal is to make sure that, coming even just for a client, let's say, for example, coming out of rehab, our goal is to get you back to independency, right? Don't get us wrong. I like when Michael says this. We're not allergic to money, but we also want you to get back that independence. We'd love to stay with you, but if it's not necessary, if you're better after 2 weeks, you're stronger, it's okay that you don't need us 5 days a week for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, Rena will go over there and be like, you're doing so much better. We want you to save money as well because we want to keep you long term in case, knock on wood, this happens again. You remember us and you'll hire us again. If you don't need us 8 hours, that's fine. We could do 2 hours a couple days a week just to make sure that you get assistance doing your laundry, taking you to your appointment, things like that. We want you for a long time. Don't get us wrong, but if it's not necessary, we don't.
Yeah.
We're not here.
If it's not necessary and you're doing it, you're
Yeah.
doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, if a caregiver's just sitting there staring at you.
Yeah, let's talk
really
TV today.
Yeah,
I see when you're having lunch or something, we could sit down and visit and that sort of thing, but that's a different scenario.
exactly. And especially if you have those clients that don't have families who really advocate and financially look at the books and say, Mom, you're spending a lot of money on home care. Do you really need a caregiver 10 hours a day to just sit with you?
Yeah. Well, I manage my mom's money. She doesn't have a lot of it, so I'm making sure that nobody's taking it.
And she's very lucky to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have her too. She was a great mom growing up, and I just love that I can be there for her. It's really important for me and my wife to do that. So great. Well, this has been really a pleasure. We're gonna make sure everybody knows all about your stuff,
Thank you.
and we'll continue to be in business together. I think you guys have the same servant part that I thought you did, and so thank you for that. And unless you got anything else you want to say, and just tell them what you got to tell them. I think we're kind of wrapping it up. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, sure.
Really good. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, totally my
We
pleasure.
love that. We're actually all this We love, just speaking out about home care and, what we can bring to the table, how we can help not just clients and family members. So thank you.
No, my pleasure.
I do want to say I had a couple, messages. I want to make sure to say it.
Sure.
First, don't take on everything on your own.
That would be both
That's
you as a
comforting.
senior and the caregivers
Right.
/ children.
Exactly. That at the end of the day, it will be unproductive if you do that.
So many more resources they can do things for you.
Right. And second thing is for us home, because we're trying to raise that standard of home care.
Yes.
Yep, just like
given
we
last
talked about,
yes.
right? Because the water's muddy,
Yeah.
and the way we make a difference is change the business.
Right. And that starts with equipping and supporting your caregivers.
Mhm.
Because if your caregivers is well supported and they're well equipped, then they will do their best to serve your family.
And honestly, Mitch, we've come a long way. I mean, I'm not here all the time. I'm here once a month, and her and I remember at the beginning of the year, we're like, okay, we're gonna delegate 3 months to just, assemble really great caregivers, right? To make sure that they're responsible, they're trained. We just want to set aside because it's easy for them to be like, well, I can just go to the next agency, I'll
If they
go over there.
perceive each agency
Yeah.
as being the same,
Yeah,
but if you're creating the agency that is the elite,
Mhm.
that's exactly.
the best players always want to play on the best team.
And we've had such great caregivers who's just been with us for a while. Even if they didn't have work for X amount of weeks or whatever, they're willing to stay with us and just be like, okay, well, let me know when I have a case. That's fine. They're
There's been
not.
a lot of weeding out.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, you never see anybody saying, "Yeah, I'm going to leave the championship, the Super Bowl championship team, to go to work at these guys' team because they really suck."
Yeah.
No, they say, "Listen, I don't care if I have to take less money.
Mhm.
I want to play for a championship team."
Mhm.
And that happens more times than people realize. All we see is the one group of people are demanding high levels of money regardless. But there's plenty of them out there. I'll give you a great example of that is Tom Brady. Tom Brady, not a team that I root for, but Tom Brady was one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game. And one of the things that made him great, he was smart enough to know that he was only as good as the team around him.
Mhm.
And he would agree to take less money to pay the offensive linemen more money
Yeah.
because he knew that having better linemen meant he could be a better quarterback and that they would win more
100%.
championships. And I think that's what you guys are building.
Yes.
You're building the championship team that exceeds
That's awesome.
all
I
the-
really like that. That's
that exceeds. Because who wants to play for the low end? Nobody
Right.
wants to play for the loser. Everybody wants to play for the champion. So build the champions and get people. You'll attract people who want that. You'll attract the people who are the rock stars at the other companies that haven't even considered it until all of a sudden they go, "Wait, who are these guys?"
Mhm.
And then all the people working for you going, "Oh, you don't work here? I guess you're not that good."
We're gonna have you speak at
Yeah, I know.
our appreciation
Yeah,
event.
and that's true. We love to appreciate our caregivers. I mean, we're having another appreciation next month, so we'd
How
love
many
you to
people you
come.
got?
We have about 33, 34.
Yeah, I'd love to come and talk with you
Yeah.
folks if you want.
Mhm.
My mom calls me a motivational speaker.
That's
Yes.
October 14th. if you're
Yeah.
available.
Oh,
We'll send you the
shoot
invite.
me off an email. We'll talk.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I definitely love doing that. And I speak right now all over the country. So
Wow.
yeah, no,
But
I'm
that is a
very
really
blessed.
good way. That is what we're doing. We really
Yeah.
are. Because
that.
we were a little scared in the beginning. I was like, oh, there's so much competition. We're like, what are we going to do? But we're like, we're going to start with our caregivers. Because if we have rock star caregivers, they're just, these clients are just going to come to
I should
us.
introduce you to my business coach.
Okay.
I have several coaches that coach me in my business. And
Oh, we need coach.
Yeah,
we need
definitely.
coaches.
yeah, I'll introduce you to them because I'm actually leaving on Monday, going to an event in Dallas.
Oh.
Because one of the things I do is I do help other real estate agents, so I do kind of coach them. So I'm going there for an event for my coaching company, but I'll get the information about who you guys should talk to because I think having the right person whispering in your ear
Mhm.
can make the biggest difference. And in today's business environment, we need as much as we can possibly get.
Absolutely.
As much. Well, thank you again very, very much.
Thanks so
Truly
much.
appreciate you.
Thank
I
you,
love the
Mitch.
fact that we're going to build a long-term business relationship to help seniors get the most out of the last few years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitch. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Living Well, Aging Smart podcast, the one for seniors to help you live your best life possible. This is a way that we're going to take the next step to make sure that you're aging clearly, safely, and more importantly with confidence and in a community that cares about you. Today's episode, for me, brought up questions that I think you'd probably want to be involved in asking. Talk to your family, whomever you got to talk to. Maybe it's about your own housing transition. Anything that comes up about what we talked about today in the podcast, or if you just have questions about the market in general, you can click on the link in the description and get an easy 15-minute phone call with me just to ask your questions, or you can shoot an email to them, or you can just call me directly on my cell phone, 702-303-0040. You're also free to go to my website, seniораssistanceteam.com. There's lots of information there, places you can dig around and find some helpful resources and guides and tools to help you with your next step. But here's the thing also, you should probably, if you like this, subscribe to it, leave a review, maybe share it with somebody you know that would appreciate it or get benefit from this information. In either case, until next time, stay safe, stay smart, live well, and age smart. Thank you so much for being here.